Hello traders, this is Blake Morrow with ForexAnalytix, and I want to welcome you to the week ahead video for December 10th, 2017. I hope you guys had a great trading week last week, and before we get into what's going to happen this next week or what we can look forward to, I gotta say, if you haven't tried ForexAnalytix, make sure you do. It's only $1 for 10 days, and once you sign up, make sure you download the mobile app. And you can do that in the App Store or the Google Play Store. And then once you do all that, for those next 10 days, make sure that you go to our chat room. You can get to it once you log in. You just click on the settings wheel and you see this little link. It says go to chat room. Click in it. You can't participate unless you're a semi-annual or annual subscriber. But while you're on trial using ForexAnalytix for the next 10 days, you can actually see all of us participating, and you can see the community that we've developed. We have a lot of great traders in there talking about what they're buying, what they're selling, why they're buying it, why they're selling it, myself included. And then from there you can see what a great community you can be a part of once you're a longer term client of ForexAnalytix. So make sure you go check that out. Okay, now last week was a very messy week. It was for me, for trading too. I mean, the end of the week kind of turned sour on me because of the pound. It turned lower towards the end of the week. And I'm gonna talk about the pound here in just a moment, because I really want to show you why I'm a little nervous with my pound position. I actually pared back some of my position size because of the price action. But before I do that, let's talk about this next week. This next week's going to be a very busy week. We have inflation data coming out of the U.S. on Tuesday, and on Wednesday we have producer prices and then consumer prices. Now after that we have the FOMC, and I believe this is Janet Yellen's last FOMC meeting before she passes it over to Mr. Powell. So it's going to, everybody's expecting the Fed to raise rates another quarter basis point. And then after that, we have Australian employment later on Wednesday. On Thursday, we have the Swiss National Bank and their rate decision. Then we have the rate decision out of the ECB. We then have that is actually on Thursday. Before that even happens, the ECB, we have the Bank of England. So we have, and then we have the Swiss National Bank. I don't know if I just mentioned the Swiss National Bank, but I believe, if I'm not even mistaken, we have Sweden's Riksbank that actually is meeting as well, and I forget what day it is. I don't have the correct calendar in front of me, but it's just a really busy week. Then we have retail sales towards the end of next week. Now we are into the last couple of weeks before the holidays, so things start to slow down in the next couple of weeks. But this week, expect a lot of volatility and full participation in the markets. There's going to be a lot going on. Now let's talk a little bit about the pound, and I'm a little worried about the pound dollar, and because I'm going to show you what happened on all the cross rates, and this is, to me, one of the reasons why I had to pare back some of my position size. And actually my week was not a profitable week this week because of what happened at the pound on the pound on Friday. The UK EU Irish border deal was finally made on Friday, but it was buy the rumor, sell the news. Now we're going to get into the trade negotiations, which is going to take the next couple of months, and the pound actually turned lower. Now we are still holding above the long-term trend line, but barely. And as long as we trade above 133, 133.20, it's okay. But I'm a little worried about, I say it's okay, but I'm a little worried about what the pound is doing against other currencies. Let me show you the cross rate effect that we could have here, and that's why you have to be very careful with the pound. Any pound longs that you have. That's why I had to pare back some of my positions, because take a look at the pound yen. And the pound yen posted a false breakout on Friday. Yikes, right? After a double top, then we rally above those highs, stops everybody out, then reverses. Yeah, that's scary. Let's take a look at the euro pound. The euro pound, we had a false breakdown of a wedge, We hit the 618 retracement and bounced. Now, when you get a false breakdown like this, chances of us heading back to 89 pence is pretty good. I was short. I was short the euro pound Thursday evening, and then I woke up on Friday morning and it looked fine, and then it reversed and took me out for a small loss. I'm like, man, I saw the 618, and then I thought we were going to break down, and it didn't. It turned around and actually took me out for a loss intraday. But when you get a false breakdown like this, a lot of times it leads to a breakout. So again, this is another reason why the pound might struggle. Look at the pound. Look at the pound Aussie. Pound Aussie just completed a bull flag pattern, right? RSI is divergent. Yeah, that's scary. Let's look at the pound New Zealand. Here's the pound New Zealand. 161% extension of this last move, right? Now we just made a lower high. Got dark cloud cover on the daily candles. All of this is telling me that the pound dollar, the pound just in general, is going to struggle. And that's why if you're in the pound dollar, be a little careful. Now I want to show you the euro dollar ahead of the ECB meeting. The euro dollar has this descending wedge, and I mean this could be one reason why the euro pound continues to rally, because the euro dollar stopped at its 50% retracement in a big flag pattern, and we might have another pennant here. So if we break above 118, we could be trading at 119 or maybe even higher, depending on what the ECB says or does on Thursday. So and then that, not to mention that the Fed is also meeting on on Wednesday, but everybody already expects the Fed to raise rates. But how about if the ECB comes in a little bit more hawkish, and maybe they if they are, does that give the euro a bid? That's something you have to pay attention to. And then also I want to take you over to the dollar index. The dollar index, it had a nice bounce over the last couple of weeks, but we stalled at the 618 retracement. Now keep in mind, longer term, this is a very, do you see this move here over the last couple months? This has been a very shallow retracement thus far. And if you have a shallow retracement like this, the longer we consolidate here, let's just say below 96, the more likely we are to break lower, because it's been such a shallow consolidation. It looks like a very impulsive move lower over the over 2017. So the dollar index, even though it's had a good week this week, it doesn't really negate how bearish it looks longer term. Okay, now I talked a lot about the FX. One last thing I want to talk about before I leave you this weekend is I want to talk about the big elephant in the room, Bitcoin. Now Bitcoin, if you look at the weekly chart, it really is nearly impossible to do analysis on Bitcoin. It has been such an explosive move. It is, obviously Elvis has left the building, and the market is out of control strong. If you don't own it right now, will it go higher from here? It may. It depends if you're looking 2-3 years out. I said on our daily webinar this week, I'm like, you could, I think I said it on Friday. I'm like, you could buy it here. It's Thursday or Friday. I said you could buy it here, but if you close your eyes and open them, 2 months from now, you might not be so happy that you did. But if you bought Bitcoin here and you close your eyes and open them 3 years from now, that may be the best trade you ever made. It's hard to say, but it's definitely hard to do analysis on basic technical analysis on longer term charts. What you really have to do is you have to go look at some smaller time frames, which makes sense, especially after such an explosive move. I'm gonna also suggest that since I'm just a bystander and I'm not trading Bitcoin, but for those of you that are, be very careful. It seems like there's a lot of liquidity issues. Your exchange that you're trading on miraculously doesn't allow for executions when it's going against you. Things like that are very fishy, and it could lead for a rush for the exits at some point. So just I think if you're actually buying Bitcoin and selling Bitcoin, you better keep it on an hourly chart and keep your eyes on it. I would actually have a very difficult time sleeping at night trading Bitcoin if it were me. That's one of the main reasons why I don't do it at this point, because I don't need those headaches. I'd rather just stay with the old faithful, very liquid fiat currencies. But for those of you guys that are trading cryptocurrencies, just remember, liquidity is poor. There's been some explosive moves, and if you have to get out, know how to get out. Because if you have to get out in a panic, I would assume that everybody else is trying to do the same thing, and you might have a difficult time doing it. It's like kind of like being in a crowded theater and somebody yells fire, and everybody's trying to rush for the two exits. It's tough to get out. As the building's on fire. Could be the same type of situation if you're trying to get out of a cryptocurrency. Some gentleman, and I forget who it was because I didn't read the name, but some gentleman tweeted to me as I made some comments on Bitcoin this week. He said it's better to get out when you can, not when you have to, and that is very sage advice in my opinion. And guys and gals, if you really like this video, especially the analysis of the currency market, make sure that you go and click the little like button on the YouTube video. That really encourages us to continue to make more videos for you. And make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can hear all the great interviews that Dale Pinkert does on the Face webinars every single day. And with that being said, guys and gals, my name is Blake Morrow. I'm with ForexAnalytix. You've been listening to the Week Ahead video. I hope you guys have a great trading week next week, and don't procrastinate buying your holiday gifts for those of you that celebrate the Christmas and Hanukkah holidays. Go get them now before it's too late. You don't want to be a procrastinating shopper out there. All right, have a great week. Thank you.